gonna share with you exactly what I did to go from eating all day to eating about 2 to 4 hours in the day. And I started this journey not too long ago. I started this journey back in September of 2022, and I lost over 50 pounds in 5 months using the OMAD Fast. Now today, I'm gonna share with you a bit of a beginner's guide on how to get started with the OMAD Fast, what is the OMAD Fast, and what is the 1 meal a day fast. Now, for me, I considered OMAD anything that is 20 hours of fasting per day or more. Some people consider it 23 hours a day of fasting versus 1 hour of eating. I call that true OMAD. I like to say when it comes to OMAD or eating 1 meal a day that there's different varieties, and that begins with at least 20 hours of fasting. You can do the 24 method, you can do the 21-3 method, the 22-2 method, which is my favorite method, or the real one, the 23-1 method. I like the flexibility because our bodies change from day to day. And if you are fasting 20 hours a day minimum, you are guaranteed to be in fat burning for a time period that will guarantee fat loss. Now, the more you fast, the more you're in fat burning. So I'm gonna share with you my journey, how I started this, and how I made this transformation. When I started OMAD, I was in a very, very desperate place. I was coming back from a car accident. I had tons of injuries that triggered a lot of binge eating and emotional eating. I was unable to work a job I just started. I was unable to walk, move around, and not be in a constant state of vertigo, neck pain, and the whole lot. My family life kind of deteriorated, and it resorted me to emotionally eating and eating food. I basically ate so much that I ballooned up to 229 pounds. And then I got to a point in my journey where I'm like, this is enough. Enough is enough. I need to stop. Because before the car accident, I lost about 60 to 70 pounds on my own. And then I was working my way right back up to gaining all of that weight. And I didn't want to do that. So you gotta be in a state where you are like, enough is enough to really get into this fasting mentality. And what I love about intermittent fasting is that it shrinks the amount of time that you eat, therefore shrinking the amount of time that you're going to consume food. The reason why people gain weight is because they're eating all day. That's what happened to me. You're eating all day, you're snacking all day. It's not so much what you eat, it's so much how much you eat, and you are going to eat a lot if you have a bigger eating window. That's why I love the 4 hour to 2 hour eating window, because I think it's perfect, especially the 4 hour eating window, because it's perfect for anyone who is in that work-life balance. If you're going to work and you come home, literally when I was doing it, I would fast from 6 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. and then I would eat in a 4 hour eating window, and I would be done eating at 6. Now you can move the schedule based on your needs. Anyway, let's get into my tips on how to get started with OMAD. Number 1, download a fast tracking app. My favorite app is the Zero app because it tells you everything. It tells you how many days you fasted in the month. It gives you a calendar view. So when you visually see it, it is more motivation to keep sticking to it, and it is more information for you to adjust to your weight loss goals. Number 2, if you're new to fasting or you've been having difficulty with getting back into fasting, I recommend starting with the 16-8 fast and then incrementally moving your way up to the 20-hour fast. Now, this is for people who are trying to go from 0 to 100. That's exactly what I did. And if you're going to do this, it's important to count your calories, because the bigger your eating window, the more opportunity for you to eat and the more opportunity for you to gain weight. So to avoid that, count your calories. So to incrementally work your way up, perhaps one day you do a 16-hour fast. If it's really tough, do it again. Do it again until it gets a little easier. Then bump up to 17 hours. Then get your way to 18 hours, slowly but surely 19 hours. I can personally do that in about a week because I have experience with extended fasting. But if you need to do it week by week, give yourself like a month to get used to fasting, that is okay. So you start off at 16 hours of fasting for week 1. Week 2, you go to 17 hours of fasting. Week 3, you go to 18 hours of fasting. Week 4, you go to 19 hours of fasting. And week 5, you get to 20 hours of fasting. So do that until you get to 20. You can stay at 20, but the longer you go in your fast, the more opportunity for you to lose weight. Now, during your fasting window, there are certain things you can consume. You can consume 0-calorie products. I would recommend staying away from sweeteners like stevia and polyols because they do spike your blood sugar. There's been studies that have proven that, and when you spike your blood sugar, it kind of increases hunger. I did that myself. So you just kind of want to stay away from that stuff. But I do have a video on how to crush your hunger while intermittent fasting or doing OMAD fasting. And one of the key things I like to use is apple cider vinegar, pickle juice. I like to have a big cup of salt water. And that brings me to that. During your fasting window, you want to make sure you are consuming salt in the form of potassium and sodium because it helps crush your hunger, especially if you're doing this for weight loss, because you're going to be in a major caloric deficit and you do not want to have any electrolyte issues. Number 4, if you choose to exercise, which I highly recommend everyone do because exercise helps you to keep the weight off and it helps you to lose weight, exercise 1 to 3 hours prior to breaking your fast. The reason why you want to do this is because exercise brings your hunger from a 10 to about maybe a 6, and it crushes your hunger. So it gives you time to kind of like just keep your mind busy, enjoying the endorphin high, and you're not sitting at home all day thinking about food. It doesn't have to be intense exercise. It can just be anything light. Because if you exercise way in the morning or way before you break your fast, you're gonna get ghrelin coming in and a sharp rise in hunger cues about 2 to 3 hours after your exercise. So it's best to exercise closer to breaking your fast, and then you can eat and all is good and your muscles are happy. Before you eat, you wanna make sure to weigh yourself right before your fast. Weighing yourself right before your fast ensures that the scale is accurate. For example, I reintroduced carbs to my journey. I had a lot of carbs last night. I weighed myself this morning, the scale went up. But that's not my true weight because when you eat a lot of carbs, your body retains more water. So what happened as the day goes on, your body dumps water. So right before my fast, my water will be fully dumped and my scale reading will be accurate. And before you weigh yourself, you want to make sure you don't drink any fluids 30 minutes to an hour before weighing yourself. I personally don't drink anything for an hour before weighing myself because again, that can skew the scale's accuracy. Number 6, what to eat. You can literally eat whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want as long as you are tracking your calories. Now, if you're not interested in counting your calories, then do 23-1 intermittent fasting, aka real OMAD, because it's gonna be incredibly hard to overeat in an hour eating window. Or you can do alternate day fasting. I recommend counting your calories because it's a way to keep you in check. It's a way to keep you on point. And when you're fasting this long and you count your calories, it isn't so painful because you don't have a lot of time to eat. So there are other methods you can use. You can use alternate day fasting, but that means you're fasting longer. You're fasting for at least 36 hours. And I personally want to eat every day at this point in my weight loss journey. So you can eat anything. If you really want to lose weight quickly and you are in the obese category, I would recommend doing keto OMAD because you'll drop weight like a ton of bricks, but you gotta be careful with keto OMAD because as you drop the weight and you get closer to your ideal body weight, so maybe you're about 20 pounds off from your ideal body weight, that's where keto OMAD may give you some problems because you're dropping weight quickly and your body can't keep up with retaining the electrolytes. That's the point where I'm at. So I have introduced carbs so my body can hold salt. But if you are overweight, do keto OMAD. It's what I did to lose the majority of this 54 pounds. It is what I did to lose the majority of the 54 pounds. So Keto OMAD is a great tool, but you do not have to do that. My final tip is that you wanna eat about 2 hours max before bed. Because if you eat your meal and you go to bed and there's no chance for you to mess up. Also during the meal, make sure you are dosing it with tons of salt, because when you're eating that meal, you wanna make sure that you have that salt, because again, you're in a calorie deficit and you're gonna be dumping water, and that's gonna be messing up your electrolyte. Plus, the salt makes you very thirsty. So I like to end my night with a big bottle of sparkling water, and right now I'm obsessed with this lavender moon milk tea. So freaking good. Like, I just mix it with a big cup of almond milk and I just drink it. So you wanna have hot fluids after you finish your meal, because again, it helps you digest, and then you can go to bed. And when you go to bed, you don't eat. Trust me, I made that mistake. I broke my fast a little too early, and then I would end up eating my meal, and then I would end up eating. So yeah. Anyway, let me know, have you ever tried OMAD before? Are you an intermittent faster? Do you do the 16-8 method, the classic method? Do you do the 20-hour plus method? Let me know where you're at in your weight loss journey, and if you have any questions, please drop them below. I always answer my comment. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far into the video, just drop in a bunch of flower emojis, because lavender, like, I can drink flowers, and it's spring, my favorite season. Sending you guys mad love. Take care.